All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
I swear, the number of days that Joel and I catch up in the afternoon, and the first thing Joel says to me is, "What did you do?" Because we're down. It's gotta be like every single day we're down for that 3 to 3:30 window. Or you want to go back 2:30, call it 2:30. 2:30 to 3:30, that window. It seems like we're down like every single day. Today is no exception.
Yep, and it's been a rocky day. I don't know who in the chat this morning. I don't know if he's around this afternoon. Christopher asked if this was going to be is this just a dead cat bounce? And I'll drill down. We'll take a look at the SPOOs, run down. I'll give my quick technical thing, analyst technical analysis, and we'll move on from there. We took out the pre-market high, but couldn't do much above that. 41.80. Turned around. We've had a low at 41.53, trying to close green. That's what we're trying to do. That would be good for the bounce off that low. Just kind of a little bit of the nervousness, I think, coming to that Friday jobs number. Boy, crude, that went from major in the green to in the red, down 49 cents to 65.20. Gold, oh man, 1,800, that's our level, up 9.10 is 17.85.10. Silver, that's in the red by 3.3 cents at 28.52.5. And Bitcoin, getting back what it lost yesterday, up $2,835 at 57,380.
Kevin Costello, I guess, said it best, right? Selling the Qs to buy the Dow. The Dow is in the green. Actually, no. Yep. The S&Ps are now green for the day by a smidge there, but the Qs are down 0.3%. The Russell's down about 0.5%, but not the diamonds, not the Dow.
Value is back. It is, and it's here. I'm sure you've heard. Talking about it in the morning. I mean, you do have the rotation, and it continues big time here. So what is going to change it? I don't think anything. It takes a long time. So the market, now you have the new rotation. It seems like there's a lot of value stocks out there, and we'll just follow them. It's when the value stocks start to go, they're not going to be diving back into the growth stocks. So there you go. Rotation. That's another thing that we've talked about.
You don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know if the rotation out of growth stocks, out of value stocks means that money won't go back into growth stocks.
Well, let me put it this way. If it does, there'll be a lot of sellers out there, like me in Peloton, if it ever gets back to 100.
Yeah, and maybe we should segue there. So you've launched now. I guess a week. I've noticed that's a time anymore. But after saying that they had no intention of recalling their treadmills, Peloton is recalling the treadmills, and that was the news this morning.
Yeah, and it was just sitting there, low for the move. The recent low for the move, and that was just boom. It held up okay a little bit early. I don't know what time that announcement came, but it did even trade in the green here. 96.70 traded up to 98.80, and I kind of wincing here looking at this chart. So I'm just hoping. I don't know if I'm going to give technical analysis on this one anymore. 81.41, big volume today. You could have to put another low in this area. I mean, 70 accidents, one person dying. I mean, that's something that you got to take note of. I mean, it is. The chart doesn't lie, and it took some time. These kind of formations here, like when you have a break, and then you just kind of hover, and then you lose triple digits. So there it is. Maybe we'll get a little bottom, get a little bounce, but a lot of people are going to wake up and say, "Oh man, get me out of Peloton." Mr. Softy in the red here, $1.35. This is what I can say about Mr. Softy here. It's been down since earnings. I mean, it has one up day since earnings. So now we know what the street thinks of this. You got a potential. Let me put that with a capital P. A potential double bottom here at 246. You're only 50 cents away from there. Going to have another red candle. So that's it. That's your support. I mean, like I said before, I just don't like this area here. Stock goes up quickly through an area, can come quickly down through an area. So another thing, if we just hang out here a couple days and don't get back over 250, then look for another leg lower. But it's definitely been sell Microsoft since earnings.
Chill the monkeys out here learning a hard lesson. Look, the reality is buying dips worked very, very well for like 9 months. Actually, for like 9 years. But it's not working right now.
It doesn't work in I mean, it's a very, very broad and vague term, right? Like buying a dip at Peloton. But there's, when there's news though, and when there's something's coming off earnings, when you see lower lows, even Microsoft here, they probably threw a good head fake here right at 250, right?
Yeah.
Great report, good earnings, 250 is the bottom. It was actually 249 and 249.60. Boom. And I know it's nothing that is, you can put into the charts, but basically, the divorce thing, hanging. Bill's going to have to sell some stock. So that's just, it's a minor thing.
No. I don't think he is.
You don't think he's going to have to sell?
No. I was reading, unless I read it wrong or misinterpreted it, but I read that they'd already hashed. They don't have a prenup, but they hashed it out years ago how they were going to split it up. So no, I don't think that's going to be a thing. We do have a guest here, a surprise guest. I'm going to bring him on right now. Sean Udall from Quantum Trading Strategies. He's at Udall. Actually, I'll put it up on Twitter at Udall Tech Strat. I'll put it up on the screen there. Sean, nice, good to see you. Nice shirt.
Hey, well, thanks. I love this shirt.
Great.
Mr. Udall. He's the guy.
I have a home-based business. Nothing says I have to wear a collared shirt.
You like those brown shirts, though, don't you?
Well, this one's more like gray, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it looks gray. Yeah, it's gray. I don't own anything brown that would mess with my color palette. Don't you know about stuff like that? Winter, fall, spring, summer
You're in
palette.
Arizona. All right. First thing, talk to me about Skittles here.
Is that your new name for Skills?
Yeah. I mean, you got the pop, and then you got the earnings. Now you give it back half of that move. I'm sure you trimmed a little bit, but are you and Kathy still on the same side on this one?
We're on the same page, but I've bought this stock way better than she did. And I probably sold it. I don't know if she sold any. I was a pretty good seller of it. Didn't get highs, but pretty close. I wrote, this is one of those ones. We ever talked about call buying, call selling, put call writing, covered calls, blah, blah, blah.
Me and you do, and we do it with the crowd. I mean, it's a good strategy.
Put it this way, not to get too embroiled in it. I think I collected $14 to $17 of call premium on Skills.
Yeah.
So just to put that in perspective, my cost basis is $12.50. So I've literally collected more. Now in fairness, I have not done it on 100% of my shares, probably like 50 to 60%. The bottom line, in this kind of a market with these big spikes, this is actually a very good call writing market. I'm not a believer in writing calls all the time, right? But when you have high volatility, lots of stock moving up and down, it's a good call writing. So anyway, not to belabor the point. Do you have other stuff you wanted to talk about?
Do you ever sell the calls and buy puts?
Once in a while. The problem is, to me, the whole point of selling calls is it's sort of it's a long-term cash flow hedge, right? So it's not, if you think about selling a call, I'm gonna hedge myself in front of the earnings report. Okay, it might be a tiny little hedge, right? You might collect 3 or 4% premium. A stock has a 20% risk in any earnings report. So it's a little bit, but it's a great long-term cash flow hedge. So if you, but put it this way, I don't know if anybody's ever expressed it in this light before. Why does Berkshire Hathaway, why have they done so well? They have a core business that generates lots of cash flow. Specifically, they have what's called the insurance float, but it gives them a lot of money to invest cash flow to buy stocks long term. So, but what they're doing is they basically have a consistent stream of cash flow. That cash flow allows them to make long-term investments. In theory, you can kind of apply the same thing to covered call writing. So if we want, something we could probably talk about next time when we have more time.
So let's talk about Mr. Market here. And you know, I'm kind of, you know, S&P eccentric here. But we had a nice dip yesterday. And the buy the dippers were rewarded here. Kind of a choppy day today, a back and fill day. Didn't rip back up to 4,200 and didn't get anywhere near. I mean, actually, found buyers at the close here. Jobs number on Friday. People a little bit nervous about that. Is there, you know, are you in the cash raising mode? Are you just buying whatever you can see? What's your little bit of your, are we at a turn? It's always hard to catch the turns, and it's really hard to catch the turn in this market going down because it never goes down. But what are your technical indicators telling you, and what's that little gut in your stomach saying?
So you're more of an index player. I'm more of a stock player. Neither is better or worse, right or wrong, right? They're just different things. But if you're a more of a stock player, the top in stocks was in February. So basically, there's sort of two camps. You kind of got Qs wrestling with all-time highs, NASDAQ not too far away. So indices have been strong. The average stock has been weak. So if you follow things like McClellan oscillator, net distribution, a lot of sentiment indicators, they topped in February, late February, early March, but they topped in February. So like the NASI, if you look at the NASI, which is a cumulative of the NIMO, not to get too technical, these are all things, symbols you can look up. So NYSE, NAMO, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a net distribution correction kind of been going on for, this is like the third month of it. So it's interesting. So last time I was on, I called SPAC bottom. I don't know. There was a great call for about 5 days. And then, and then now, I mean, not too many things are retesting, but a lot of stuff kind of looks like it wants to retest. So you mentioned cash raising. I raised last Thursday, Friday, I raised 20% plus cash across the board. So, and I did that because, you know, I kind of used portfolio stops and some other things, but the basic premise was, it's just like, look, the bounces all the bounces fail now. I don't like green futures, red finish. I mean, how many days out of the last 20 if we had green futures, red finish? That's a real, I don't like that kind of finish. Okay. And then every single great report, by and large, has been sold.
Why?
And so one of the things I posted about 2 weeks ago was the market always has to face a moment when earnings are great, but you have a peak. So interestingly, just in the last 2 days, CNBC has kind of been talking about peak EPS, peak economy, peak everything. So, I mean, again, you know, it was pretty easy to see that a few weeks ago. I don't know if too many people made the call, but I just didn't like the setup. And I've put some cash to work. We could talk about some things I did buy today, but I did raise 20% plus cash last Thursday, Friday. And that's a lot because I was not like, you know, I already had a lot of liquidity already. So I'm not going to exactly disclose where my net cash position is, but I bet it's a lot higher than like 90% of everybody else out there. So, you know, anyway, so now I feel like I have a lot of liquidity, but honestly, you know what? I kind of wish I would have sold more because the last 4 days we kept going down. So I would have saved myself money in the short term if I would have sold more. So we're in this weird little dance. How much pain can the indices deliver? Well, the average stock, like Skills, has been corrected 50+%. So this is one of those weird rotational moments.
So you're not super anxious to put anything, any of that,
No,
the
very
cash or
slowly, very slow. I did buy some Big C today, about $1.50 higher, and I bought some Datadog about $1.50 higher. And both, though, I have so both are pre-earnings plays. I'll cut half, maybe more, but I'll probably cut half before the print. So I thought Datadog could make a run at earnings. They report tomorrow, actually. And by the way, Datadog, this is some interesting kind of market intelligence. Datadog's actually, I think they've dropped every single report, every single quarter they've reported, they've dropped post-report. I got a little, I don't know, like at some point, a stock will not do the same thing as it's done 3 or 4 times before, especially when the average trader might be going, hey, look, Datadog's dropped every time they report earnings. Maybe we should short it. So anyway, I'm playing a little market intelligence here. I was hoping to get a pop, but
yeah.
well, remember too, I would say do not buy Datadog if you don't want to buy it at 70 and 65 and 58. So if you want to buy it once and hope you're going to make money, then don't buy it. If you're willing to scale in 3-4 times, I think it's a decent starting spot. But I'm gonna tell you, I feel pretty good about making money on it tomorrow. We'll see. It's got to catch up about $1.50, $1.70 for me to get back to even.
Right. That's all right. I mean, it had the run, it's had to pull back. It hasn't taken out the low from March of this year yet. So potential, double bottom in here. It could be one of those things.
I like that you said that. I don't see that there's a whole lot of support because this was a stock that, I don't know. I bought CrowdStrike during the COVID lows. I'm not sure I ever bought this. If I did, I didn't hold it very long. But I mean, this stock came from 25, right? Probably went to 125. I mean, it has had a hell of a pullback. It really has. So, and I kind of like to set up into the print. If not, like I say, I'll cut part of it, half plus tomorrow, no matter what, and then ride some through the print. By the way, Big C is I have a top 20. Big C is in my second team list. I've only ever bought this stock when it's kind of been acting like this, meaning like a multi-day sell-off. I've actually traded this stock pretty well. You might have to go back a little farther. There was one time I think I bought it here, maybe 60. It went to 90. So basically was able to close it out for a big score and kind of been dancing around with it ever since. But this is one I'm accumulating. I don't know. It's always hard to know where a stock's going to bottom out. I think it's testing their all-time lows, actually, today.
It is.
Which I actually don't love, but I don't mind. Again, if you're going to buy something 4, 5, or 6 times, it's okay. Now I can't buy 400 times like Kathy would, but if I'm going to buy something 4, 5, 6 times, I mean, maybe up to 10 times, it's no big deal. I mean, I don't mind paying a little bit above. Again, I actually think, so what's funny I said about Datadog, I actually feel better about this company on their earnings. They report next week. So like this is one I probably will sell half into the print, but I won't want to. That's a fair way to say it.
People are asking about Rocket here, and boom, boom, boom. I mean, not much to say about this one here. I know wow, it just kind of looks like it doesn't have a heartbeat at all here. I don't know. When do they report, Spencer? Do you know?
Yeah, that's funny you asked that. They report in a few minutes.
That's right. I thought it was today. Oh man! Oh man! Oh man!
You know what? This is one of many stocks. Don't hate it, but there's other things I like better. And
exactly,
there was one huge move in this that lasted for like 18 minutes, and then that was it.
The Reddit move, yep.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it's here again now. Is Rocket gonna have way better results 2 years from now versus today? I don't think so. So you got to be really comfortable with the valuation because you're going to have a business that's probably going to have decelerating growth when the mortgage refi.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, this is one heck of it. You think about this environment that for UWMC as well.
Yeah, that's another one. There's another one used to be called Replay, and they changed their tickers. They all trade. Okay. Put it this way, I've done great in banks. Now the problem is there's no banks to buy, but I would definitely buy a fintech SPAC before I would buy Rocket. I mean, like that I don't even have to think about it. I'd rather buy FinServe, which is going to become Catapult. I'd rather buy IPOE, which is going to become SoFi. And again, they're much riskier. They can go all over the place. But if I'm going to take the risk, I'd rather have something I feel very confident, even if we have a peak economy, it's still going to keep growing. I'm not so sure Rocket's going to have much growth in the next couple of years. At some point, Rocket will be a beautiful cyclical play, like in the next finance refresh cycle. But guys, I don't know. That could be years away. So you have to believe that the real estate boom is going to last for like 2 or 3 more years if you really like Rocket here, unless you know the fundamentals compared to all its other competitors, and if they're the absolute best name and the cheapest in the space, then maybe it's a good buy. I don't know the name that intimately. Like I haven't done a deep dive on it, to be honest.
Okay. All right. So what would you, just real quickly here, we'll keep you another minute here. S&P selling off into the close here. What would be, what would turn you like look like bearish? Like you go out and start shorting
I'm
stocks?
pretty much bearish. I'm pretty much am bearish. I have high cash balances. I just raised cash a few days ago.
Okay.
I mean, I can be bearish and still look for buys.
Yep.
But I'm not going to be fully invested, and I'm not going to be aggressive. And I'm going to assume I'm going to buy it, and it's probably going to go lower, or I'm going to buy it, and I got to have, instead of a multi-day or multi-week, I might have to have a multi-month or multi-quarter time frame on something. So by the way, like Big C, I have a $100, $125, $150 target. That's a 2-year target, right? So I mean, I'm pretty bearish. I really am. Like I even told subs yesterday, or the day before, like I got to see earnings reports that actually go like that, have a stock go up and they hold a gain for a day or two.
Okay.
So I mean, this is a pretty bearish tape when you have great reports and every one of them's getting sold, and it looks like it's going to be that way until it turns. So I always say, let's wait for the turn.
Zillow
had a great report. Yeah,
I know. Zillow. Look at Activision. We talked about that one on the show this morning. That's back.
Joel, I swear you're reading my mind though, because I actually said Zillow last night. I think Zillow was a key stock for the whole market. Meaning, if I called the fade. I'm like, hey, they're going to fade it tomorrow because there's going to be margin selling, etc. But basically, if it pops, if it fades, then rises, and then kind of gets back to green and holds green, then a lot of stocks could likely follow. But yeah, just very, very bearish action right now.
All right. Well, thanks for hopping on here. I know you maybe got a few orders for the close there. Go provide some support there, Big C and Data Dog, and we'll check in with you tomorrow or early next week, Sean.
No,
really
I'll buy both tomorrow, $2 cheaper. Well, Data Dog, I won't. Big C, maybe.
All right, pal. Thank you.
Hey, while we're on the topic of Zillow, you want to look at Redfin? They report tonight down today with Zillow, frankly.
How could you? I mean,
what?
Man, oh man. I mean, if you're leading long into the report, then you got plenty of people that are selling it to you. So you only got one number here in Redfin.
60.
The low, just under that. The low of the move was 58.09. So that's it. There was a daily low at 59. You didn't quite get there. Then 58.09. Someone that came up, good question here. Is eBay going to fill the gap? Now, of course, I don't have my crystal ball. I can't exactly tell you what's going to happen with eBay here. But what I can tell you is there's a couple things that are sticking out to me. You overdid have the pullback there, right? On the earnings, you took over, half of the move back. And now you're climbing back. And you got a lot of overhead supply here, right? The mid-range comes in right here, 58 and a quarter, 58.30. Then you also got two daily highs. You got a daily high at 885 and you got a daily high at 888. So you want to see continuation through that level and work your way to fill the gap. If it did get up there get out there at 6180, don't wait for 62. But I'm looking back in the history of this chart. It filled. It usually fills its gaps. So it just depends how long you want to ride it out. It filled this gap. So it has a prior history of doing it. I will say it's had a pretty nice run here off this low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher lows. That's a good thing, but that's not a trend that can continue. So that's a look at eBay.
You want to see another interesting one? I mean, I think it's interesting. Is Fastly. So they report tonight. This one. If you think back to the last two reports, the last report, the earnings report, served basically as I'm sorry. The last report, it got shellacked. It got shellacked after his last report. 2 reports ago, the report was the bottom of that move, and it basically went straight up afterwards.
You know how we talk about 2-for-1 stock splits? This is almost a 3. No, not 3-for-1. 2-for-1. 2-for-1 because I was at 120. Just when you see these kind of charts, and folks, when you see this, just think about maybe not what your position is, but think about what other people's position is. Look at Activision today. Okay, it came back and filled the gap. I mean, this was this was a high off an earnings report, followed through. I don't know what happened here. I don't know if we had Mr. Market come. I can't remember back in February. Then you made a much lower high here at 98, and now boom. Everyone that's 94 was sticking out like a sore thumb there. So just keep that in your mind. The way stocks are trading going into the report, other people's positions, how it's going to react. So that's just not a good day for ATVI, any stretch of the imagination. Josh, I already covered Peloton. I still own it.
I'm not going to make Joel go back through that again.
I washed my hands of it. I washed my hands of this twice, 130, and then I washed my hands at 100. So that's it. I don't want to have any more arguments. That's it.
All right. Here's the schedule for today. We've got. Wait, is that right? No. What? Yeah. That's. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong.
Lele, what do you got? What do you got?
That's right. I'm sorry. That's right. Uber tonight.
Yeah.
Wednesday, right? Rocket tonight. PayPal tonight. Etsy tonight, bookings, Twilio, which someone just asked about.
I bet is that thing come in? I bet you that thing's come in, right? Yeah. I mean, at 450, at 350, at 340, you think it's a bargain. It ain't no bargain, man. This thing was under $100, so be careful on that one. Joel, is it bullish or bearish when a company acquires it's sell through old stock?
Wait,
that's a question from the chat.
I know. I don't know if I understand the question.
I don't know if I understand it either.
When a company acquires it, so if like the company were to like just buy up all its shares,
or they're saying if they give someone else stock. I mean, if I think I understand the question correctly, if they're given the stock up for it, like this is then they probably think their stock price is too high and they want to dump it on somebody, and perhaps someone like and I think the best example of this, didn't AMD, wasn't that a stock deal for whatchamacallit? Who the heck did they buy?
Wait, she's referring to wait a minute. Different companies. She's just referring to a regular old deal. So she referred to the ticker CHMA, which is getting bought today. That was the news on CHMA. So they're getting acquired. So all that's going to happen there, Lele, is whatever the price of the deal is, that's where your shares are going to go. If you're long CHMA before today, congratulations. You made a quick buck. Good for you.
Who bought them?
AMYT, Alpha Mary Yankee Tango, bought them today. So that's what she's.
They did to that. They don't like that. They don't like that at all.
They never like the company doing the buying.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, this is a weird one. So, all right, well, let's wrap things up here on this wacky Wednesday. We're still green here, folks, but not a great day.
Yeah,
a lot of green early in the day. This is more symptomatic of a dead cat bounce than I would say super bullish follow through.
If you're still wondering, yes, UPS closed up again today. That's the streak.
Yeah, you know what? I asked my buddy Rob about this yesterday because we asked him on the show. And Arrival, you mentioned that company, right?
Yeah, they had news the other day.
Basically, what he said here is Arrival announced plans for electronic buses and delivery vehicles.
Yeah,
and they're going to be building one in South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yep.
And UPS ordered 10,000 of those things. So
soft order, whatever. Guys,
he thinks. Well, the reason doesn't say is he thinks it's now an ESG play.
It always, of course, it is. It's
UPS.
Oh, UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your ESG buyers are going to be filing into that.
When we get to 150 likes before I'm done talking, everyone, please remember all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Please go ahead and hit that like button. Who's on the show tomorrow, Joel? We've got
good question.
Peter Tuckman at 9. And it looks like we gotta get ourselves a guest.
I know. I emailed somebody.
Oh, he's gonna.
Yeah, I looked up. He hasn't responded.
He's not gonna tell us who it is.
Yeah. So, can you show Mitch worked hard on that on the thing this morning, the Cinco de Mayo? We didn't say Happy Cinco de Mayo to people.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
Can you show that or not?
It's up there.
Oh, you got it up there on the stream?
Up there.
Isn't that great? That is amazing. Look at Spencer playing the guitar. That's pretty funny. Okay, folks. Looks like we're going to have a double close here. We'll see what happens overnight. Thanks, Mitch.
Gotta hop. I got to call. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck. Ryan Rosbiani.
Check out Money Mitch.
Ryan Rosbiani at 5. Money Mitch after that. Aftermarket Therapy after that. That's the schedule for today. I'm going to hop. Mitch, I don't know what your plans are for staying on, but if not, I'm going to end the stream.
Go Dolphins.
All right, I'm ending it on that note.